What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. It's time again for another episode of the Wrestling Wire. Coming at you this Sunday, man, or the day after NXT had their Vengeance Day show right here in Charlotte. The night before that was Friday Night SmackDown live in Greenville, South Carolina. Dude, it's been a badass week for professional wrestling. There's no joke about that. But one thing I wanted to kind of touch on before I got into talking about the happenings in pro wrestling is in general, if you follow social media right now, you're seeing guys even like Ken Shamrock. Ken Shamrock's been in the fight game for 30 years or better at this point. Whether it's been in MMA, professional wrestling, bare knuckle, box, he's done it all, right? So when you got a guy with that much experience sitting here telling you some shit's just dumb, you got to give it up to him because he probably knows more of what he's talking about than people like us, fans would know. So the point I'm getting at is this: when you're watching this slapbox shit and or whatever it's called, the slap thing that's on uh after what does it come on after? It comes on after Dynamite, don't it? Or it comes on after one of these shows. I don't remember what show it comes on after, but it comes on TV right after one of them, and that's what they're doing. And you've got the announcers or commentators rather making jokes about concussions. What? What kind of stupidity is this? Concussions are nothing to play with. Let's be sincere about this. I know a ton of professional wrestlers, and most of them have had concussions. Hell, I've never been a professional wrestler. I've had several concussions. Um, concussions almost took Daniel Bryan out of his career. That and neck trauma, neck injuries. Alexa Bliss, Paige, uh, and a plethora of more. You know, it doesn't take too much for a guy to get or a person to get concussed out of their mind, and that's just something that needs to be considered, and it needs to be considered while there are still brain cells left in your fucking head. When you're dealing with people like the Chris Benoit thing, you start to get a little weary. Why is it then that you want to pay attention to concussions instead of beforehand? Why is it then that that stuff matters? You see what I'm getting at? So if you've got a slap box thing going on and there or whatever that's called, slap show slapping or whatever it is, slap competition, slap title tournament. I don't know. I thought it was retarded. Demented, stupid, idiotic, nonsensical, all of those things. I thought it was that. I think it's ignorant. Um, with that being said, you've got the announcers and commentators making light of a very serious ordeal. Anything can happen. Yeah, I get it. Anything can happen. Anybody can get concussed. True. That's not my point. My point is you don't hear commentary like on WWE or anything else. Oh, he's concussed out of his mind. Oh my god! And they make light of it. You know, they may say something. Oh, that's guaranteed concussion right there. That you're guaranteed he's going to have a concussion after that. Why? Why is that an okay thing there, but it's not an okay thing everywhere else? Like you don't hear boxers talking about it, even though we've seen young Luke Fury chimed in. Yo, what's up, Luke? Um, Look at Muhammad Ali, the later points of his career. He was or the later points of his life. He was real shaky and very non-communicative because he was just strung out. His bell had been rang too many times and it was permanently kind of gonging in his head. That makes it not okay. when and I enjoy the way that it was explained by Ken Shamrock. He said, "Look at it like this: I do bare knuckle fighting. You're only going to take so many hits before it's over." when you use weighted gloves, you actually get hit more times before you feel the effect. He said, I've fought with 4 ounce, 8 ounce, 12 ounce, and 16 ounce gloves. I think he said he fought with all those different weights of gloves. And when you have those gloves on, it changes the impact on you. But you're getting hit more because of it. There is something to be said about that. So technically, you're saying to me that bare knuckle fighting would be safer than boxing. It's way more barbaric, yeah. But at the same time, would it be considered safer because there's less impacted or repetitive impacted trauma to a person's brain? These are the things that I kind of wanted to bring up today because we always talk recaps and spoilers and details and news and all this other shit. This is something that kind of plagues me. Number one, I know a handful of people who have had concussions, including women wrestlers who've, man, they got a swift kick in the head and they were done. They were like, nope, this is not it. The concussion messed me up. I won't do that again. And I was like, wow, I never knew she even wrestled, but she told me about this. And I was like, well, I could see where you would find it entertaining and find it enjoyable until you get kicked in the face. That would suck. Me personally, I've had a concussion and it was not from a fight. I got a concussion, A, skateboarding, B, falling. Those are the two ways I got concussions. I don't believe I've ever got a concussion from being hit by anything or by anyone. So, but that's just my mindset on it. Either way, I think it's crazy how people are kind of all about this slap thing. It's weird. It does nothing for me. I don't understand it. And, hopefully they figure out it's really shit. It's really bad for you. And maybe it'll go away. Look at the concussion protocol that they have with the WWE. Look at the concussion protocol that they have in even AEW now. Look at the concussion protocol that they have for the NFL or the NHL, the hockey league. Dude, you cannot tell me the hockey players don't get it. Everybody gets it. My thing of it is, look at how it's handled and publicized. Whereas on that, that slapbox shit, it's not. That's kind of my point, ladies and gentlemen. It's nothing against what they're doing, and I'm not degrading what they do and saying that what they do is, stupid or what. Well, I think it's dumb, but that's me personally. I think it's dumb. When it comes to, professional wrestling, we understand where it's going and how it's going. So there's just a lot of things that, that we all talk about when it comes to it. Dude, so let's go ahead and chat up about, what we're seeing professional wrestling wise for the week. Why am I getting so many messages right now? Like all of a sudden everything's going nuts right now. You know what? I have a great idea. There we go. That sounds like fun. Um, yeah, I like doing random shit during the show, so it's all good. Let's see here, dude. WWE this week has been on fire. Monday Night Raw broke 2 million. Monday Night Raw broke 2 million. I don't remember if AEW did. I think the AEW did last week with the Jay Briscoe tribute. Let's see here. Brandon Lamb. I don't see it ending well for Rhodes. Fans are going to turn on him when it's him getting the belt and not Sammy. I hope not, but we shall see. So here's the thing. You are setting up Sammy to challenge him by SummerSlam. Not Mania, SummerSlam. 6 months later, the midpoint of the season for WWE. I would be fine with that. Cody doesn't need to be a face, he could be a heel. But you're going to have to give him a good couple months before he turns heel as the champion. He's already wearing the suits and everything. So everybody already sees he's going to be the arrogant guy. Give him 3 months, he'll turn heel, then you have Sammy challenging him as a face. But reality is also right now, I think they're going to go with Sammy and KO dethroning the Usos, which kind of is in a bad spot because of the thing with Jay Uso. So you gotta look at those two things. Brandon, thank you for the comments. Just break the titles up and it's a win-win. No. One ring to rule them all. One championship to be the main one of the company. That's it. One champion. One main champion. Everybody else is playing second fiddle. I don't care. I'm over multi-titles. Dude, if you give everybody a belt, let's do it. Oh, fine, I'll make you a deal. Brandon, do it on the indies. Pick any one of your indie shows that you go to that you know about in the North and South Carolina area, because I know you go to, y'all go to Boiling Springs and y'all go up to wherever in the hell we were the other day in the middle of God's nowhere, or a couple weeks back in the middle of freaking nowhere up there. I want you to give 27 titles out. Make everybody a champion. It loses the point when you have two people saying that they're the best in the company. No. What they need to do is keep the focus on the mid-card titles, which is what they're doing. They're doing a phenomenal job of it. I want you to tell me that Walter's not believable. Walter's elevated. Walter is highly believable. Austin Theory is now in the most believable spot he's been since he's been with that company, period. Look at it like this. When Austin Theory was in NXT, he had some dangerous points to him. When he came to the main roster the first time, he went back to NXT. Then he came back up as Vince Golden Boy. Wasn't really feeling that gimmick neither. Now look at him. Now he's on fire, and that U.S. title has got prime placement. It looks good. And I would not be surprised if he retained in that Elimination Chamber matchup. I would not be surprised one bit. I really believe that dude right there is going to win the Elimination Chamber match. I 100% believe that he will win the Elimination Chamber match. Number one, it's a multi-man match. We've seen the most dominant people ever lose that match. You've seen Austin or Taker lose it. You've seen the Game lose it. You've seen this one lose it. You've seen that one lose it. Dude, you've seen Brock lose that match. Anything can happen. Anything can happen in there. So it doesn't matter if they put Braun Strowman in there. It don't matter who's in there. It could be Lashley, Lesnar, Rollins. It could be all the top talent. Theory can still win it because of the design of the match, which is what makes it great. That's why it's a smart match. It's a smart spot to put that pay-per-view is right before Mania, because you want to save all your real good story arc endings for Mania. Yes, you can get returns and you can get new stories starting at Mania, but you don't want continuation from Mania, before Mania, through Mania, and then after Mania. You don't want continuation. You want as many loose ends tied up so you can start the next season as possible. And that's why I'm telling you, I firmly believe Austin Theory is going to retain at Elimination Chamber. Just my opinion. It'd be sweet if they did another one for Walter. Because, yet again, it'd be believable if he lost. But right now, there's no contenders for him. There's nobody vying for that title right now on SmackDown. I have no clue what they're doing with it. Oh, Thomas Scott has chimed in. What is up, Thomas? How you doing this evening, sir? Dude, NXT, like I say, NXT was in Charlotte last night. I'm gonna get into NXT because I should have gone. I should have gone to Greenville Friday. I should have gone to Charlotte Saturday. But you know what? I didn't. Busy and just honestly did not feel like being around a bunch of people. So I didn't go anywhere. I just kind of sat back and enjoyed time with the little ones and called it a day. Um, but Monday Night Raw last week was on point. You had so many things. You had so many things go on, and to cap it all off, we have had a kick-ass match between Cody Rhodes and Finn Balor to end the night, and man, that was a great matchup. Cody's promo to open the show was badass. You had Rollins defeating Chad Gable to qualify for the Elimination Chamber matchup. I don't get it, but okay. Like why did we have to have Rollins qualify? Who in their right mind would have put Chad Gable in that situation anyway? You're putting an A caliber talent and a BC caliber talent against each other. It made Gable look a little bit better, but it didn't do any favors for Rollins, in my opinion. Oh no, they are 100% turning Seth Rollins babyface. He is pure babyface right now. He's not white meat babyface, but he's babyface. I haven't felt like being around a bunch of people in a long time. Man, I feel that one. That broken finger was sick. There's two broken fingers. There is Bray Wyatt's and there is Dijakovic's. So, yeah, man. Mr. Stephen Bell has chimed in. What's up, dude? Hey, what's going on, man? How are you? Io Sky defeating Candice LeRae. I'm not understanding the point of what they're doing with Candice LeRae, but like I get you're not going to have her going over everybody, but what are you doing with her? I guess this is the long-term arc for her because they're going to have to eventually get her more wins to get her elevated. She's a fantastic wrestler. She's the similar size and style of Bliss. So I could eventually see her and Bliss having a really good program. Her and Liv Morgan maybe having a good program. But the problem with that is all three of them are currently baby faces. Now, Rhea Ripley comes out and declares that she's going to challenge Charlotte Flair at Mania. I'm happier with that storyline than I am the other one. And we're going to get an Elimination Chamber match to determine who's going to challenge Bianca Belair at Mania. Now, reality is this, guys. We could very well end up with Bliss versus her again. And I'd be A-okay with that. Dude, everybody's chiming in today. What is up, Drago? How you doing, man? Johnny Gargano defeats Baron Corbin to qualify for the U.S. title Elimination Chamber matchup. Thank God. Look, Corbin can go. His current shtick isn't hitting for me. Happy Corbin was sad Corbin was fun. Poor Corbin, dirty Corbin, whatever. That was great. I don't know. Bobby Lashley attacks Austin Theory while he's in the MVP's VIP lounge. Dude, so weird. Such a weird way to have it looking like VIP or MVP and Lashley aren't. I think that's getting rebuilt. And if that's getting rebuilt and rebuilt up, I'm down with that because the Hurt Business was a good time. So hopefully that does something. Rick Boogs defeated The Miz. Rick Boogs returned, and man, is he jacked. Holy shit, this guy's huge. So I'm down with that. Good matchup there. Becky Lynch came out and challenged. Well, she basically forced Bailey to agree to the steel cage match because she was going to tear the shit out of Dakota Kai with that chair. Then Bronson Reed defeating Dolph Ziggler for the U.S. title Elimination Chamber matchup. I don't know how I feel about this. Look, I would have rather seen Dolph Ziggler in there, and I'll tell you why. And it's not because Bronson Reed can't go. Bronson Reed, in my book, has not earned the right to be vying for any title yet. Oh, that's 100% true. Thomas Scott says that Dolph Ziggler's become more of an enhancement talent. That's entirely accurate. It sucks because that dude can go. He has no business losing to this guy. And having that guy kick out of his finisher, I'm like, well, you're fucking blowing the ending for me, guy. I don't like it. I hate it when somebody kicks out of a finisher. It no longer becomes a finisher. Now it's just a special move or a signature move or some shit like that. I am not into that. Didn't like it at all. Cody Rhodes defeated Finn Balor in the main event of Monday Night Raw. Dude, what a freaking show. That was badass. Next up, we ended up having NXT on Tuesday night. And see, y'all notice I don't cover Level Up, right? I'm not. I ain't got time for all this. I touch on a little bit of everything now. NXT, I should probably ignore most of it. I give you the quick hits on it, but the trick of the trade is NXT Vengeance Day is what was the hit for the week because that was just last night. You had Inda Sheer defeating the Creed brothers on Tuesday night. You had Zoe Starks defeating Indy Hartwell. Dijak defeated Von Wagner. Somebody take Von Wagner out back. I don't give a shit whether they beat him to beat his ass, they ship him off, they send him to somewhere. He needs to go. You saw the suplex into the corner. Dijak spiked his head on the ground because Von Wagner's a putz. That wasn't Dijak not sell. Dijak sold last night to Wes Lee, who is a third of the size of Von Wagner. But you going to tell me Von Wagner? The dude is not safe in the ring. Fuck that guy. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. Fuck Von Wagner. Got no business being in there on TV right now in my book. He is not ready. He is not ready, in my opinion. Tyler Bate defeated Axiom. That was a fantastic matchup. I from start to finish, I love that match. Stevie Turner and Danny Palmer missed me. It didn't hit me where I needed it. I'm not a big fan of either one of these ladies. I think they both need some work, but for what it wasn't terrible. Drew Gulak defeated Charlie Dempsey. I had no idea that was coming. I had no idea that Drew Gulak was going to defeat Charlie Dempsey because I was like, there is no way they're going to allow this kid to lose. Shit. I'd have lost a house on that. No lie. I'd have bet the house they wouldn't have let Charlie Dempsey lose to anybody. At least now. Dude looks so much like his dad. Oh my God. I love watching the kid work though. Holy shit. And Chase U wins the New Day Invitational. So they get added to that matchup, which occurred last night. We're going to get to that in just a minute. I watched it last night. It was off the chain. Hell yeah, it was. I sat out here. I had a great time, man. I sat in the living room and just enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed that. I love the direction that they're going with The Rock's daughter. They need to do a little bit more with Ava Rain, but yeah, I'll give you that. I like the direction they're going with it as well. Now, Wednesday night, we ended up having AEW Dynamite. Adam Page and Moxley went at it. Mox ended up winning, and at the end of it, it was like they wanted some more. And Mox won Mox the brawler fighter guy beat the wrestling guy uh, with a roll up. Let me run that by you one more again because the fighting brawler dude out wrestled the wrestler and beat him with a roll up. All right, I'm just making sure I articulated that twice so you didn't miss it or mishear me because I said what I said. Um, the acclaimed versus Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum. Who the fuck are these guys? Like, I don't get it. Bowens pinned Turbo after the mic drop. That was it. There was nothing major there. It was like a squash match. Then out comes, you know, Billy Gunn, and then all this shit that it's getting to be too convoluted for that storyline. It's just getting to be too much to it. The therapy session. Didn't we see this with The Rock? Or no? We saw this with Kane and Daniel Bryan years and years ago. Then now you're doing it again with these guys. But, you know, it's not the yes no therapy session. Then we had the therapy session years ago, a couple years back with Alexa Bliss. Why isn't there anything else y'all could do? Like anything else? Y'all went to family therapy. It was like couples counseling. Ugh. Good grief. Takashita versus the Machine, Brian Cage. And Takashita ended up winning that one. I remember very little of the AEW show this week. I watched it for one main match at all, and that was Bryan Danielson versus Timothy Thatcher, and that did not disappoint. That was fantastic. My daughter was sitting in the room with me, and she goes, "Oh, that dude in the blue is definitely going to win." I said, "Oh, you mean Timothy Thatcher?" She said, "Yeah, he's beaten Bryan, Danielson. She's beating him. He's beating him up." I'm like, "Okay, you want to put a bet on that?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, I'll bet on that. I'll bet Bryan Danielson's going to lose this match. Timothy Thatcher's going to win." I said, "I bet you $1." She didn't have $1. I said, "Fine, I'll bet you a quarter." And she said, "All right, it's a bet." I made her shake my hand. This is an agreement. You got to shake your hand to make the bet official. So yeah, I took my daughter's quarter. I ain't gonna lie to you. I told her, I bet you a quarter. Since you're so sure, I bet you. But I had, and no, it wasn't recorded or nothing like that. I hadn't watched it. You know Daniel Bryan's going to win because they're doing the storyline to get him to MJF, and then they're going to have MJF go over on him, which is fine. MJF needs that. MJF needs a victory over a Bryan Danielson or a CM Punk with that strap. He really, realistically, really needs a victory over a Kenny Omega or, somebody of that level. Unless they're going to have Wardlow beat him, which I can't see them going with Wardlow because Wardlow's not that over. I could definitely see them going the route of, even if it's just for a short run, I could definitely see him doing this with Eddie Kingston in the coming months. Maybe the next pay per view. Matter of fact, the next pay per view. That'd be my idea with that. So then you had Jade Cargill versus Red Velvet, and she got her 50th matchup. Main event of the night was Darby Allin versus Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe regained the TNT title. Wardlow came in and he tried to get at Samoa Joe. He got a couple of shots in on him, and Joe got up out of there. Not a bad show. Realistically, match of the night for me for that show was Bryan Danielson and Timothy Thatcher. I thought that was excellent. I really did enjoy that. Why are people sleeping on Impact Wrestling? Please tell me. I need somebody to tell me why they are sleeping on Impact. Why are you not watching Impact Wrestling? Impact Wrestling right now has got some good shit going on. I'm not going to say it's the best show out there or anything like this. I am going to say that this is what we need to see. This is what y'all want to see something special. You need to be watching Impact because you're going to get good action, some pretty decent storylines too. There's there's a lot going on. There's a lot of people that we know and love from this business in there. John Schuyler's there. He was trained right here a couple about an hour and a half away. He was trained right here in the Carolinas. Madman Fulton is I don't know if he's still there or not, but I seen Fulton around in this area. Hell, I was his announcer a couple months ago in December. Good quality talent working on these shows. Rich Swann, Baltimore's own, former NXT guy. Frankie Kazarian's there now. Jonathan Gresham versus Aiden Prince was your opening matchup, and Gresham defeated him, which, nobody's surprised by that. You had the Bullet Club, which was Ace Austin and Chris Bay. I guess they really have lowered the standards for the Bullet Club. Because I am not an Ace Austin guy. I am not an Ace Austin guy. But Bullet Club defeated Kevin Knight and Kushida. Dude, I am a Kushida fan. So I wish they would do good stuff with him. Giselle Shaw went up against Savannah Evans and ended up defeating her. Dude, yet again, I worked with Savannah Evans 2 months ago in North Carolina. Fantastic young lady, fantastic talent. Love watching her in the ring. Dude, when I tell you that woman is straight up intense, I mean like she is fucking intense. It is ridiculous. Zicky Dice and them came out to the ring. I was just like, Zicky Dice is cool. Crazy Steve versus Sheldon Jean, and he ended up beating Sheldon Jean. I have no clue who the hell Sheldon Jean is, but yeah, he ended up getting destroyed. Nobody's really surprised by that either. You had Bully Ray out there insulting Mickey James. That set up a whole match. It's going to be Skyler and some dude who's called the Good Hands versus Tommy Dreamer and Mickey James. It's quite an odd pair. It's all odd to me. It is what it is. See, that's the couple of gimmicky things that I don't like about Impact that kind of like draws the realism away from it. Is stuff like that. But it is what it is. It's still going to be an entertaining show to watch. Swinger with Zicky Dice versus Kenny King. Kenny King ended up defeating Johnny Swinger. He was on the same show as Fulton and Evans in December. Yeah, he was there. So worked with all three of them at the same show. And Effie. Effie was there too. I'm going to guess that they're going to have. I'm going to guess that they're eventually going to go. They got to figure out who they're putting up next against Josh Alexander. I know that they've got Rich Swann slated as the number one contender, but it's going to be a whole nother ball game. It's going to be a whole nother ball game when they go head to head because Rich Swann, I think, is the number one contender for that title for Josh Alexander's strap. Alexander is a legit, believable champion too, so I got a lot of faith in what he does. But they ended up having the design, which is Diener, Khan, and Angels, or Diener, Khan, Angels, and Callahan versus Alexander, Swan, Kazarian, and Yamura. So it was a 4-on-4 matchup. Either way, man, it's going to be a good. It's going to be a good week for professional wrestling. If you haven't checked out Impact, I recommend doing it next week because you will thoroughly enjoy yourself. I'm going to go ahead and move on now. We're going to talk about the WWE Friday Night SmackDown, which emulated live right here, Greenville, South Carolina, about an hour away from Bon Secours at worst. I'm an hour away from Bon Secours Wellness Arena. And for anybody who doesn't realize, an hour drive is absolutely nothing. Um, at least for me. I'm used to driving. I like doing a good 7-hour drive a couple times a year. Probably the worst drive I've done in the last year was 17 hours straight through. Um, obviously you gotta stop for gas and shit like that, but 17 hours is doable. So an hour drive to me is not shit. I don't care. Um, while you're young, do it while you're young so you can enjoy your shit. Um, but man, SmackDown was insane. You had Braun Strowman and Ricochet defeat Imperium to win the number one contender spot. They will challenge the Usos next week. Charlotte Flair versus Sonya Deville again. And she beat her again. I'm tired of seeing this again. Sonya Deville, in my estimation, she's mid at best when it comes to the women's wrestling side on Monday night or Friday night. That's just me. I don't think that she could go to NXT right now and be viable for the NXT title for the women's side. My opinion. The Viking Raiders defeated the Brawling Brutes. That is insane. After the bell, Sheamus and McIntyre attacked them, and man, that's going to go to war. And that's good because you got 4 big hosses going at it. That's good television. Natalya won the Fatal 4-Way match, so she's now in the Elimination Chamber to challenge for the Raw Women's title. We're SmackDown is putting on a match for the Raw Women's title. That delay is obvious, right? Why are we doing this? Come on, y'all. We need to pick it up a little bit. Roman Reigns was out there giving his state of the bloodline. Sami Zayn jumped him from the crowd with a hoodie on and bludgeoned the hell out of him. I had friends all the way down in the floor seats right there by ringside. A title match at WWE Elimination Chamber. Now, the dark match you didn't get to see was Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight. Yeah, that happened after SmackDown. Timothy Godfrey chimed in. Hey, what's up, Timmy? Man, I thought I passed you, but it wasn't that vehicle I seen you driving last time. It was some fucking 4Runner or something. I thought I passed you over there by the grocery store. But either way, wasn't you. Because I was in my truck. Moving on from SmackDown. After SmackDown comes AEW Rampage. You had the Elite versus Ethan Page, Isaiah Cassidy, and Matt Hardy. Why? What? Where did they earn that shot? I mentioned it earlier with Bronson Reed. I'm mentioning it now on AEW. Where did you earn your title shot? Make it make sense. It's a kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. Oh, SmackDown was awesome in person. Blessed to have been able to go. Fantastic, dude. Like I said, I didn't. I was informed that there's not a bad seat in the house, but I didn't. I didn't go. I didn't go. I should have gone. I didn't go. I'm trying to do things. I'm trying to do the right thing, and it's making me do less things. If that makes sense. Sometimes you got to take sacrifices, and right now I'm sacrificing some things, trying to save some other things, and some things just can't be saved. I don't know, but anyway, listen. What I'm saying to you is, I'm trying to do a lot of things at one time. I ended up, dude. I ended up. I'm not even, I'm still working OT on the day thing, not to mention the weekend things. So I'm doing more than just what was thought. Either way, let's see here. You had Brian Pillman Jr. versus Swerve Strickland. What is this? Well, when they have the WrestleMania sign up, it blocks the stage video board. Oh, hell no. Let's see here. Swerve hit flying foot stomp to Pillman and got the win. Really, who wouldn't have seen that coming? Swerve Strickland's a hell of a talent. So is Brian Pillman Jr. Soraya and Tony Storm versus the Renegade Sisters. Look here. There ain't no way that I would have seen the Renegades beat Tony and Soraya, even if it was just one of them, not both of them. I can't see that happening. It doesn't make any sense to me. So after the match, they spray painted the Renegade Sisters with the L for loser. So I guess this is their heel turn. They're gonna start, spray painting shit. Come on, dude. We've seen this before. We've seen this before. Give me something a little different. Dude, I don't know. Take a bag of glitter and smash them in the face with a bag of glitter, and it'll be like blinding them and caked in their eyes and shit. Give me something a little bit different than spray paint. We've seen spray paint. You know, we've been seeing spray paint for 20 years, 30 years. Oh, is it because it's women spray painting somebody? It's different because it's women. Logic. Logic. Christopher Daniels versus Roosh. Roosh rolled up Daniels. He smashed him with a bullhorn, then pinned him. Ugh. Some things just don't hit me in the right spot, and Rampage is one of those often misses the mark for me. I try, but it to me that's one of the things that on a weekly basis I feel like Rampage misses that mark for me. And I don't know why. I don't know exactly what it is. I try to give everything a chance. Dude, y'all hear me talk about Impact. And Impact been on shit list for years. But we in here talking about it because they're doing good shit. Why would somebody think, it's not that I'm a AEW hater, it's that it's not giving me much to be invested in. It, I don't know if it's not my style. I don't know if it's just certain things that don't make sense. I get the gimmicks. I get the how the ref does the things. I understand this. Just something about it misses the mark with me, and I don't know what it is. I've tried every which way from Sunday to get sucked into it. I get a good match out of it that I really enjoy thoroughly every now and again. I love the match last week for the Briscoe versus Jay Lethal. Loved it. Holy shit! I waited all night just for that, and it was worth every second of it. I did the same thing with Thatcher this week. I loved the match for Thatcher. I didn't give two shits about Moxley and Hangman. I can't believe they got Moxley bleeding every week now. He's bleeding on the opening match of the night. What more is there to go up from? The show should be a nice grade up. When you start the show on fire up here, you really are fucking up what the rest of the show can do. So they started up here, brought it down a little bit, and brought it down a lot, and then they went to Brian and damn Thatcher, and it put it up here, and then the rest of the show went straight downhill till you got to the very end, and even that show didn't, even that matchup didn't do a lot for me. Joe and Darby was okay. I'm I'm not the hugest fan of Darby Allin. Samoa Joe, I like watching Samoa Joe, but Darby Allin, not really. Darby Allin to me looks like, hi, I'm Darby Allin. Welcome to Jackass. Watch what we're going to do next. Uh, Flights of stairs. I swear to Christ. Hey, look, if they make it to an event where they do like Tony Hawk's Boom Boom Huck Jam, I'm showing my age. If you don't know what that is, go fucking look it up on YouTube. If they do something where they've got like a half pipe and this bitch does like a vert ramp ollie with a 360 or 720 and then clothesline somebody, all right, then, cool. But who the fuck's going to survive that? What logic is there? If that was a near fall, that was a 2 7/8 kick out. Why? You're taking the logic out of this. You're taking this for the sport business. You're taking the fact that it looks like a sport out of it. You're making it look like circus freaks. It's dumb to me. I don't understand it. And I've tried. And I know I'm going to catch shit from that. Oh my God, I can already feel my phone going off because the people, oh, you just don't like it. No, I like the company because they pay my friends. I don't give two shits about what happens on TV if they're getting fucking paid. What do I care? There's certain points of the product that don't stick for me. Whereas most of the WWE product, even on NXT, hits the right notes for me. You know, call me what you want. Call me biased. I don't give a shit. Because you're still calling me and you're still tuning into the fucking show or you're still downloading the bitch on Tunes or whatever the Spotify is. Who cares? That's what we do here. We make content based off of other content. We throw our opinions out there so that way maybe you find somebody with your opinion. Maybe you find somebody to argue with. Because if you argue with me, come on and let's argue. I prefer that. That makes my show more fun. Anyway, let's talk about NXT Vengeance Day. Saturday night, Charlotte, North Carolina. Damn it, man, I should have gone. Floor seats like 4 rows back was like $153. That would have been worth it. I was 2 or 4 rows back when NXT came to the Spartanburg Memorial Auditorium. I was right on the corner, like commentary would have been to the left and of me, and I would have been like right here on this corner. Me and my buddy, I took him. We went out to dinner beforehand, and him and I went and had a great time at the show. Let me tell you something, y'all. NXT puts on a hell of a live show. 4 rows back from seeing people like, I remember Zoe Stark was there. It was before she was ever put on TV. She was there. FTR was there. Shinsuke. It was the night Shinsuke broke Old Boy's jaw from FTR. It was right before they all got called up. Bobby Roode was there. Dude, there was a bunch of good ones there. It was a good show. I should have gone to this NXT show because I guarantee you I'd have had a blast. But either way, Wesley defeated Dominic, or Dijak, as they're calling him now, just Dijak, for the NXT North American Championship. Great matchup. They worked very well for two guys of very different size. I enjoyed it. Top to bottom, thought it was fantastic. I'd have lost the house on this one too. Kiana James and Fallon Henley defeated Kaden Carter and Katana Chance to become the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Never in a million years would I have thought that would have happened. Not even a little bit. Like, holy shit, they had me on that one. Carmelo Hayes defeated Apollo Cruz in a 2 out of 3 falls matchup. He skunked him. 2 falls in a row, and the match was over. Out comes that big dude that was there from what was his name? Dabakato or some shit. Then he attacked Cruz after the match. Like, wait, what? Unbelievable. In a badass matchup, Gallus defeated the New Day, Chase U, and Pretty Deadly to capture the NXT Tag Team Championship. I'm in on this. And I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine yesterday who said, dude, I don't like the challenger for the NXT title. I said, well, who the hell's a good heel that could challenge this guy and be believable? I'm like, there's no real good believable heels for this, at least right now. That make any sense. I know now that they're going with Carmelo Hayes. I think that is a piss poor decision. And I'll tell you why. I think Joe Coffey needs to be that guy. Say what you want. Say what you want. I could be wrong. Joe Coffey, to me, that size dude, that heel versus the good guy and Braun. Motherfucker, please take my money. Take my money now, because that would be good shit. Could you imagine the size and strength of Braun Breaker and the speed of Braun Breaker versus the technical prowess, size, and strength of Joe Coffey? Dude, that would be some good shit. Like, right there. That's money. That's a good shit. That's a good booking shot right there. I know they're going with Carmelo, but that's okay. Gallus winning the titles, I'm down with that. Roxanne Perez versus Gigi and JC Jane wasn't a bad matchup. There was a couple hiccups in there, and they were, unfortunately, it was on JC Jane or Gigi Dolan's part that those hiccups happened. I didn't see Roxanne mess up at all. And I don't mind Roxanne Perez. I'm a big Gigi fan, but man, last night was just a rough night for that triple threat. There was a lot of spots there that missed for me. But it was overall, it was a solid matchup. Braun Breaker defeated Grayson Waller to retain the NXT Championship. Okay. He hit up a spear. Then he hit him on even another spear after running the ropes a couple times and pinned him. That was the end of the night. Then after that was when you saw Carmelo Hayes come out. Not a bad night at the office, man. NXT did wonderful. NXT put on a hell of a show last night, and they had all them guys out there trying to do all them things. They had, for a traveling show, it looked like they did really well too. I was not expecting the crowd to be that sold out, and I'll tell you why. Because like I said, I was still looking at tickets, and there was a shitload of tickets available, even Saturday. But man, that place was packed. I'm really kicking myself in the butt for not going to both events this weekend, to be honest with you. But family things. But now we know where we're going. Like I say, Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber is going to sell us on Jey Uso sticking tighter to the bloodline. That's only 2 weeks away. That's all. That is 2 weeks from now. That's why. Because in 2 weeks' time, you're going to have that. And that's going to make a big difference in my book. They're going to be on Ontario. It's going to be a hell of a crowd. It's just a PLE. I don't expect anything groundbreaking to happen up there, but it's going to be furthering the stories. So it's going to be like a super Raw SmackDown. It's going to be a good combo of that. I'm thinking that's going to be a good time. I'm thinking that's going to work out real well. Right now, do y'all realize that they were already on trend for selling the most pre-buys on Mania when at the end of the Royal Rumble, they had, or when the Rumble happened, they still didn't have any matches announced for Mania. They had absolutely nothing known about Mania, and all them tickets were already sold. That's crazy. That's crazy. Does it happen? Yeah, it happens. Does it happen to that extent? No. It don't happen for the Super Bowl like that. It don't happen for Daytona 500 like that. It don't happen for the damn sure don't happen for the World Series or the Stanley Cup, unfortunately. It don't happen for the NBA Finals. It doesn't happen for anything else other than WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the only event in the world that has that many tickets to sell that quickly without knowing who's going to be there. Why do you think that is? Because it doesn't matter who's going to be there. Everybody wants to be there, including the fans. It kind of also could be used as look at some of these indie guys. Look at some of these indie promoters included. Everybody wants to be in to this. Everybody wants to be in on this. Everybody wants to be involved. Everybody wants to be somebody. As a buddy of mine will say, everybody wants to be somebody. And that's true. So everybody that wants to be somebody is going to want to be at Mania. Because they're going to want to say, oh, I was at Mania. Like, I'm press, and this is a thing. Reality is this. If, and that's a huge if, I was even worried about being at Mania, I'd need to have 2 weeks off because I need to get there days before access and stay there days after the show. There's no way in hell I would want to miss anything at all going on in the area. I'd want to be there to catch it all. So I would need like 10 days in a hotel and 2 weeks off from work. And yeah, I'd be all about being there for Mania. Got no problem admitting this. And I have no problem doing it. However, I'm not doing it. Guys, look, it's been a great show. We're coming up on that hour mark. Not that I have a time limit, but these days it seems like the 1 hour time frame is hitting right where we need it to hit. So listen, here's what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to take care of yourselves. I want to see you back here Thursday night. Remember, Thursday night, we'll be back here live and in living color. Myself and my co-host, David Estacado. And we will be talking about the Thursday night Indie Spotlight. Check that out right there. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we here at the Wrestling Wire and the Thursday Night Indie Spotlight are part of the XWW Network. Don't know about XWW? Go check it out online. Extreme TV online. Look up XWW on Facebook. Their deal is pretty simple. First 5 days, if you subscribe, are free. It is $4.99 after that per month. And you've got access to indie wrestling. You got access to a bunch of other podcasts. You got access to all kinds of good shit going on out here. So I am all about doing it. I am all about getting it. So here's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to call it a day. We're going to call it good right here, right now. So I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank all of the comments for being brought in. It's been a hell of a show. It's been real. It's been fun. And hell yeah, it's been real fun. We'll see you Thursday night for the Thursday Night Indie Spotlight. Thus proclaimed, Saint.